what brought you to politics? You're an economist with an interest in the environment. At what point did you see yourself as a real Green Party person?
I've been interested or passionate about the environment for most of my life. And finding out what sort of policies will move us towards a sustainable world that work, that recognize the realities of how the economy works, is something that's been part of my research career and something I've been passionate about. And as the Green Party has evolved over the years to a party that takes evidence seriously and wants to move policy in that direction that I care about, I've decided that it's time to get involved and actually put my name forward as a candidate. I've been curious about them for years, and I think they've reached a point where they've got enough depth that they can make some serious contributions to the way we run this province.
Right. It seemed to me in its beginnings that there was a real earnest desire to do better for the environment for the Green Party, but the full platforms weren't all sort of laid out as seriously as they might be. Have you seen an evolution towards something that really looks like a full-service political party?
I think so. So my expertise is in economics and the environment. So I'm not a health policy expert. I'm not an urban design expert. So I can't comment in any kind of detail on whether the policies they've got in that area are sound, but they've got a policy platform that, at least in my superficial read, is good. And they've thought seriously, and they've consulted other experts. So our candidate on the west side is a transportation engineer. And so he's someone who can give some valuable input, and he speaks quite highly of the Green Platform in that regards. And Amanda Poon, our candidate in Kelowna Mission, is a passionate community service person with a lot of knowledge on the areas of mental health, and works as a health policy analyst in Interior Health. And so that kind of expertise of candidates who are able to feed into developing good, solid policy is something the Green Party now has. So as you say, I think we have a much broader, well thought out policy that touches on the key issues that people of BC care about.
So all of these ridings you've mentioned, it would be the Liberal Party that's favored to win. Meanwhile, the polls indicate we're likely to end up with another NDP government. But the NDP has no candidate in person in either your riding or Kelowna Mission. Instead, they've got candidates who live elsewhere. There's signs in the ground, but the candidate is nowhere to be found. Does that give the Greens an opportunity to build some support?
Well, I suppose it does. I mean, for my part, I just see it as kind of sad in that I'd like to see a government where we take the best ideas from everywhere and bring them together to move things forward for the province. And those best ideas come from listening to people. And so if we don't have a candidate here who's actually spending the time to listen to people, then suppose that person got elected, they wouldn't be bringing the voice of the Okanagan, of Kelowna Lake Country in the case of where I'm running, to Victoria. We've got to be here listening to people. And I will credit Norm that he seems to do that. Okay, based on what I've heard, there's a lot of people that like him. Now, I think I give an alternative voice, and perhaps I listen differently. We'll find out.
Right. So, okay, build on that a little bit for me. Where would your approach differ from Norm Letnick's?
My core would be listening to people. My pamphlet that I'm handing out here has a little survey on the end of it and a website to go to. I want to hear from people. There's a lot I don't know. And I'm not going to learn what matters to people if I'm telling them what they should do. So listening is a really important thing to me. And not sticking to an ideology. In promoting tax cuts, for example, and the Liberals have jumped big onto this cut in the PST. And looking at that, is that really going to help everybody in Kelowna Lake Country? And is it really going to help the people that need it? And the people that need it are the people in lower incomes? Well, we do a lot better to just give support to the people with lower incomes. And things like that, like listening, finding out what do the people need? What do the people in lower incomes in particular, the vulnerable in our community? That's something that really matters to me a lot. And how do we help them from a policy perspective? I know Norm's been very consistently involved with things like housing and with charitable work. But has it really addressed the policies that can change the way people's lives are? And I don't know that that's been going on. Certainly the Liberals don't seem to focus on systemic policy level change to help people who are vulnerable.
Well, I just want to thank you for taking some time to tell us about your candidacy and for participating in the process.
Here, thank you for your interest.